Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom. Today, Duane Toews is with Keith Tapp, a chair on the United Soybean Board. He gives talks about technology that has helped farmers become more sustainable. Next up, Akagi brings us the Kansas soybean update. Then Angie Toews visits with Tara Ritter with the Institute for Agriculture and Trade Policy. She explains the farmer letter calling for climate solutions, what it is, and the goals farmers would like to put in place regarding climate change. Then we'll learn what's going on around the state with the Kansas Farm Bureau update. And to wrap up, it's Plain Talk with Kyle and Duane. It's all coming up on Farm Factor. Stay tuned.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
For a few weeks each year, historic Lecompton turns into a living Christmas village as dozens of volunteers, thousands of ornaments, and hundreds of trees come together to transform the territorial Capitol Museum into a Christmas postcard. The spirit of Christmas engulfs the town and all who visit.
Merry Christmas from historic Lecompton.
Welcome to the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in my hometown of Oakley, Kansas. We're the front door of Western Kansas, located on three main highways, I-70, US 83, and US 40. And all those roads lead to history, beautiful scenery, and adventure, no matter which direction you go. We now have an IHOP. That brand that you've trusted up and down the road in all your travels is staffed with local folks, real people, just like you and me, and we're waiting on you to join us. So for fun, adventure, fuel up, fuel your body, and let's have some fun.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome to Farm Factor. Up first, Duane Toews talks with Keith Tapp of the United Soybean Board.
Duane Toews starting once again on the program. A chance to catch up with Keith Tapp. He's the chair of the United Soybean Board. Keith, talk a little bit about some of the issues that the board feels strongly about in representing soy growers and that great product that they produce.
Well, there's a lot of exciting things going on, even though this is not, it's kind of a trying time for agriculture right now. But we focus in three main areas. That's meal, oil, and sustainability. We've got to be sustainable, and that seems to be a big topic both here in this country and other countries that they want to know that we're going to be there for them.
We kind of look at the end user or those that are utilizing our product as kind of pushing that ball, asking for more sustainability characteristics with the product that we produce, which isn't a bad thing.
No, but, farmers have been sustainable. If we weren't, we wouldn't be here today. Practices that my parents, grandparents did, even years ago with the crop rotation and cover crops. We've expanded up to technology now, and the technologies that we use and can utilize helps us to be more sustainable. We've had research done on beans, with the scientists here that makes a better product for us to grow. So we have to grow more for less, and so that's where we are.
We think about the opportunity to really tell our story. That we always haven't done the best job in agriculture when we've got good news to tell.
And that's true. And, you look at some of the things that we've done in the soybean world with looking at new uses. We've had I mentioned the scientists that work to develop beans for us. We have a high leg bean that we're planting. It's been tested across the country. We know that it does not have yield drag. We know it produces a good bean, a good quality oil that can be used for human consumption. And there's a lot of great industrial uses that can be used from the high leg.
We think about that diversity of a single soybean. It's pretty amazing what technology has allowed us to do with it.
It is. It's a magic bean, so to speak. You can do so many things. I was speaking to a group not long ago, and they were not aware of what soy was involved in and how much we use it in our daily lives. And I told them it's kind of interesting to know what soy is not a part of. Recently, one of the newest projects we have is soy oil that's in our asphalt, and that's going to be a big player for us. Of course, we have it in our tires now. Those are two of the newest things, new uses that we have.
And those new uses ultimately just create more demand and ultimately more profitability for growers.
That's right. Competition's tough out there, so we've got to stay on top of it. We appreciate, our farmers investing in their own future, and that's how we make these things work out for them.
Our thanks to Keith Tapp with the United Soybean Board joining us on the program. Jamie, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Duane. Coming up after the break, it's this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Stay with us.
Kansas Farm Bureau has served farm families and rural Kansas for more than 100 years, and we're pleased to offer new healthcare coverage choices for Kansans in 2020 through Kansas Farm Bureau health plans. No matter what stage of life you're in, we'll have options that fit your lifestyle. Plus, our network of providers is one of the largest available throughout the state of Kansas and beyond. For more information, including the different plans available, or to get a quote, visit kfbhealthplans.com.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
For a few weeks each year, historic Lecompton turns into a living Christmas village as dozens of volunteers, thousands of ornaments, and hundreds of trees come together to transform the Territorial Capitol Museum into a Christmas postcard. The spirit of Christmas engulfs the town and all who visit.
Merry Christmas from historic Lecompton.
This segment brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Soybean Update.
This is the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Keith Tapp is joining us. He is a Kentucky farmer and serves as chairman of the United Soybean Board. Keith, sustainability is a word that is used a lot in agriculture for many reasons. It's safe to say that sustainability is such a big key for driving what we've seen with soybean innovations.
That is so true. I mean, you hear sustainability in so many arenas, just in every arena, actually, from your housewives to our trade, the people we trade with across the country and across the world. So it's very important to us, and we feel like we're doing a great job of maintaining that sustainability.
And innovation, that can come in so many different forms of what that's been able to do as well.
Right. I mean, we look at our farms and we've been sustainable or we wouldn't still be farming. I've thought about how my grandfathers and my father, they were sustainable. They had crop rotation and they had cover crops. We've come such a long way from that even now because of the technology itself. And we have like a platform with Technology Tool Shed. And that's where farmers can, find out what the technology, what they're using, and then innovate new technology into or integrate new technology into what they can use. And then we're gathering all this information and all this data, and so now that also can let them put it together and let us put it together and see how we can use that and be more sustainable.
Do you find that the world markets who want our soybeans, who want that, think sustainability is just as important or even more important in their eyes?
I think it's more important because, especially, like say, you talk to our buyers overseas, they want to know that they can depend on us. And 95% of the farmers in the U.S. are sustainable. They practice those things, that conservation measures, things that prove to our buyers that we are sustainable. So yes, it is very important.
And the acceptance is so key for that soybean farming. As you said, 95% is pretty good.
95% is real good, and I don't care what you're talking about. Yes.
Absolutely. All right, Keith, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate you.
And those were the comments of Keith Tapp, who is a Kentucky farmer, and he serves as the chairman of the United Soybean Board, and he joins us on the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Learn more at kansassoybeans.org. For Kansas Soybeans, I'm Greg Akagi.
Coming up next, Angie Toews talks with Tara Ritter about the farmer letter regarding climate solutions.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well on their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we'll be glad to answer it and work with you.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, cleaner American fuel. Message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
This segment brought to you by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
We're back. Now Angie Toews talks with Tara Ritter with the Institute for Agriculture and Trade Policy.
And let's talk about the farm letter that is out at the moment that is being pushed.
So the farmer letter calling for climate solutions was written by the National Sustainable Agriculture Coalition, which is a group of membership organizations. So we're representing the voices of farmers. Farmers helped write this letter, and we are getting farmers to sign on from across the country. The goal is to just get thousands of signatures for farmers saying that, they believe in climate change, they want climate action, and they want to be part of the solution. So there's huge potential for agriculture to not only sequester carbon in the ground, but by doing that, it makes farms a lot more resilient to the extreme weather events that we're seeing. So, soils can hold water better, it prevents erosion, and in a lot of cases, it can boost yields and decrease input costs too. So we're really calling for these holistic solutions and for Congress to invest in those in a lot of different ways. And this letter is meant to kind of challenge the narrative that climate change isn't a big concern for farmers, because we know it is, and we want to lift up those voices.
And what are the things of climate change that we're seeing right now?
A lot. So I live in Minnesota. I can't speak specifically for Kansas, but on a U.S. level, we've seen rising temperatures everywhere. They're rising less in the South, more in the Midwest and the West. Extreme precipitation, which includes both heavier rainfall and snowfall too. So we had the snowiest February on record this year, which, was the weight of it was collapsing barns. Then it was melting and the soils couldn't take it up. And then also the extreme heat can cause stress on livestock. It can cause stress for farm workers too. And then also, as these changes happen, pests and diseases are moving northward. So crops and animals are suffering from that too.
And what do you say to people that say that those are just natural occurrences and not related to climate change?
At the end of the day, things are changing. And when it comes to agriculture, farmers are experiencing it the most out of anybody. So first of all, again, these practices are increasing resilience on farms too, and they're helping farms withstand these greater weather extremes, whether or not you think they're human-driven. They're things that really invest in the health of your soil and invest in the viability of your farm. So, in a way, it does matter, but it doesn't too when you're working on these solutions that are just meant to be, boosting resilience and helping with soil health too.
And when we're talking about farmers, what exactly is your definition of that?
We are counting a farmer as is defined by the USDA, and I believe that's any operation that sells more than $1,000 a year.
And so those are the people that you would like to call into action to sign this letter?
Yes, so this letter is open for sign-on from farmers and ranchers. And so we are not inviting the general public or advocacy organizations to sign on. Unfortunately, that means I can't sign on. But we do really want to lift up the farmer and the rancher voices, because we believe those stories are the ones that are really powerful and the ones that have the ability to really push policymakers to look at this issue differently. Well, we plan to deliver this letter in the spring to Congress and to the USDA, and so hopefully with a critical mass of thousands of signatures from across the country, we'll be able to have a really powerful showing when we bring this to members of Congress. We're hoping to also fly a few farmers into DC, whether we have a hearing or whether it's just testifying to certain offices, to really advocate for the changes that we want to see. And, those are broad, but they generally require changes within the Farm Bill and within USDA programming. And so we have a whole suite of asks that are associated with this, but too long to get into. Something does need to change. We're in a really hard farm economy right now, and when you pair that with all of these challenges from weather, it's becoming harder and harder for farms and for farmers to remain viable. And so we do see these as long-term changes that are necessary, not only to invest in our natural resources, which is super important, but also to invest in the viability of our farms. We need farmers on the land. We need them making a solid living. And a lot of these changes are the types of things that can keep farms more resilient in the face of the changes that we're seeing. And hopefully, too, a lot of them are conducive to keeping small and mid-sized farms going and viable, too, so that it's not, so that we can maybe move away from the pattern of consolidation and overproduction.
Thanks, Angie. Come back after the break for this week's Kansas Farm Bureau update.
Kim Mannering with Hardy Insurance. Today we will talk about umbrella coverage. Did you know that if you're held liable in any type of accident, the judgment can claim your assets? Please give me a call so we can discuss. 316-945-6733.
Kansas Farm Bureau has served farm families in rural Kansas for more than 100 years. We're pleased to offer new healthcare coverage choices for Kansans in 2020 through Kansas Farm Bureau Health Plans. No matter what stage of life you're in, we'll have options that fit your lifestyle. Plus, our network of providers is one of the largest available throughout the state of Kansas and beyond. For more information, including the different plans available, or to get a quote, visit kfbhealthplans.com.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Farm Bureau update.
My name is Nathan Kells, here from Haskell County, southwest Kansas. We farm cattle, raise replacement dairy heifers, and also farm a bunch of crops to feed them mainly. I am Haskell County Board President in the Farm Bureau there. So we're always encouraging people to come to the annual meeting, but this year here as a voting delegate as usual, but also on the resolutions committee. Today is my favorite day when we get to go to the different breakout sessions where you get to choose what you're wanting to learn about. Like I just got out of one learning about HitchPen, a new app for agriculture that way you can buy and sell hay, rent machinery, or even offer your own services to go out and use your own machinery on neighboring farms. So a lot of new ideas like that you get to hear about and learn about here at annual meeting every year. And then also catching up, with friends and talking. It's good whether, you've never been or you come every year. I encourage you, if you haven't been, to experience it at least once. I think you'll come away with something. Whether it's from the sessions or from the keynote speakers. They always have great speakers. Mitch Holtis was here today and gave a great encouraging speech. So there's always something new that you'll learn and see, and whether you make new friends or seeing old ones, it's definitely worth a couple days a year to come to the annual meeting.
Stay with us. We'll be back after the break with Plain Talk.
What if U.S. soybean meal were more than a commodity? If seed companies and the soybean checkoff built a better variety? That future is here. The time is now. To meet end-user demands, the soybean checkoff is investing in the compositional quality of soybeans, including meal. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Hello, I'm Dr. Frank Lyons from Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center here in Manhattan, Kansas. Daryl was one of our patients that we did about 7 months ago.
I dug trees by hand for years and years and years. In the process, I wore out my rotator cuff. But when I learned about this process, I thought if there's a way to get rid of this pain, then I want to do it. So we did it, and it worked. I'm not going to go out and take trees with a shovel anymore, but I can do the things that I want to do now.
Well, it's been very gratifying to help people with their painful joints and other entities, and it's been especially gratifying to be able to help people who I know and have worked with and known for many years.
This segment brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook. Let us help feed your family.
Welcome back. Now let's see what Kyle and Duane are up to on Plain Talk.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer with Plain Talk
with Duane Toews. Kyle Bauer, your fact or fiction question of the day: a typist's fingers.
Yes.
In an average work day, will travel 24.6 miles. Fact or fiction?
Now, is that an average work day for you or for a typist?
Not me. Mine,
Because
mine only. Well, they travel the same distance, but it'd be a lot less travels per hour.
You lose a lot more. You use a lot more muscles than a normal typist would.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like lifting weights.
26 miles.
24.6
24.6 miles. Well, let me see. That'd be a foot.
An inch at a time.
Wow. You know, that's so bizarre. I'll go true.
It's false.
It's
only 12.6 miles.
Well, that's not like you said. No, it's 24.2 miles.
No, I doubled.
Yeah.
Ish. I doubled-ish it.
12 point some miles.
12.6 miles.
A couple inches at a time.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
They don't
typists.
move very far.
Typists go.
I mean, your fingers. I didn't take typing. That's why I don't type.
Oh, really?
Big shock there. But I'm looking at one of those keyboards right now, and your finger doesn't move very far. I mean, they're all supposed to have their own set of letters they touch. Mine,
okay.
My finger, too. They can touch about anything.
Well,
I kind of keep it left and right. On
there
the
you go.
page,
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You know, you ought to teach that in school.
two finger.
Two finger. I wonder if anybody even does that anymore.
The crazy part is I've done it enough that I don't know where all the letters are on the keyboard like you would if you actually learned how to type, but things that I type the same phrases over and over day in and day out, I get pretty good. I can move pretty fast.
Well, at least you're happy with it.
Yeah, you know.
So I had a password here in the last week that had a bracket in it, not the parentheses.
Oh, the actual bracket?
Yeah, in the password, and it's like,
Why
that's
did you
on
do
there.
that?
And I didn't. I mean, it was one that was given to me.
Oh.
And it was like, where the heck is the bracket key?
You got to find that.
And you find the bracket key, and those all wore off.
No.
So it's like, I didn't know. I had to look and look, but yeah, see, and it's.
I don't think they
see
have a
what I
bracket
mean?
on here.
Oh, mine did. So I imagine yours did. It's just a
there it
keyboard.
is.
There it is.
Right next to the
See,
P.
it took me about the same amount of time.
Top row of letters next to the P.
Mine was the bottom row. Maybe that was the problem. Maybe I
They're
put
not
the
the
wrong
same place?
I had a heck of a time getting it to work, so maybe I put the wrong bracket in.
Well, it happens.
So if you were going to draw a region in the United States, a cattle region in the United States that included Kansas, okay?
Right.
What other states would you include in that region?
Well, what kind of cattle region are we talking? Are we talking cattle
It says
feeding?
cattle.
Cattle feeding?
It says cattle.
It just says cattle.
But you would think, okay, I'll give you a hint. We're not with Tennessee or Kentucky.
Okay, so that's...
So, I mean, my point is
Right.
it's about having people that are like you.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the vast majority, I shouldn't say vast majority, a big chunk of the commercial cattle feeding operations reside in Nebraska, Kansas, and Texas. So,
yeah, so you'd put them in the same region.
I'll be nice, and I'll put Oklahoma in there too.
Because it'd be rude to leave them out.
It's hard to get to Texas from Kansas without touching Oklahoma.
You'd have to go around.
So, I mean, if I'm going to do a region.
Okay, so you're going to throw those together.
I'm going to do Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska. I don't know if you want to do Mississippi and Missouri.
You went the wrong way.
They went west.
We went north.
Oh, they kept on going
north.
They
go north.
Well,
they just threw in the Dakotas.
Chunked the middle of the country.
Well, but think about it. I mean, South Dakota especially, they've become a heck of a cattle feeding state. And
more
why?
so with all the corn they have there.
Exactly. They become a corn state, and you got to get rid of that stuff somehow. So they threw them in with us.
Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom, and I hope you enjoyed today's show. See you next week on Farm Factor.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
For a few weeks each year, historic Lecompton turns into a living Christmas village as dozens of volunteers, thousands of ornaments, and hundreds of trees come together to transform the Territorial Capitol Museum into a Christmas postcard. The spirit of Christmas engulfs the town and all who visit.
Merry Christmas from historic Lecompton.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we'll be glad to answer it and work with you.
Kim Mannering with Hardy Insurance. Today we will talk about umbrella coverage. Did you know that if your cattle get out, you could be held liable for that? Call me. Let's have a discussion. 316-945-6733.